what he told us when we were sitting there. Like, he's like, oh, he's a pug, he's this, he's that, and then it just it kind of unraveled. It didn't seem like Rolly had any control of that fight whatsoever. But what was your
First of all, I am mad at myself for believing the pug jokes that Rolly Romero told us on this program here. And shout out to Rolly for jumping on. I know it was a rough day for the guy.
He was awesome with us.
Yeah, and we've been trying to get Pitbull Cruz on the show, and hopefully, one day soon. He's a champion now at junior welterweight or light or super lightweight. I hate how they have different names for the same division, whatever. Super lightweight and junior welterweight. He's a new champion. Shout out to him from Mexico. He had a great fight, but I was buying into the whole he's a pug. He looks kind of big. Maybe he looked a little big before the camp, because when I saw this guy, he was in shape. He was ripped. And when you're a pressure fighter like that, Fernando, you better be in top shape. So from the get-go, in the first round, Rolly was he's wobbly on some bad legs. So you knew it was going to be downhill very quick. So go ahead. Oh my. I did not see Bernard Hopkins in that one.
Did you really not see it?
I saw the beginning. I'm like, okay, good. Have your laugh, Oscar. Why not? Because Rolly and Ryan Garcia have been trading words. You watched the video with Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia.
Vic, do not put the banner up yet, because thank you, Vic. I have another one. This has just happened.
Rollies, you dumbass. Knocked out. Focus on your opponents instead of focusing on me. God damn it. All other fighters, learn from Rollies. Don't talk shit about promoters. There's only 3 of us in the world.
Hey, what a view.
It's a lot more than 3, Oscar, but
why did you say Rollies?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's saying people who act like Rollies.
Like, I don't know, like minions and like basically,
I guess maybe boxers who don't think they need a promoter, but maybe he's kind of talking trash about Devin Haney. Devin Haney's not really committed to anybody either, so I don't know. But there's definitely more than 3 promoters, Oscar. But I get it. Your boys Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero have been trading a lot of.
You think they're boys though?
What, Ryan and
Ryan?
Well, who's the one making the money? It's not Rolly, so I think you got to support at least Ryan Garcia. And by the way, this is a big difference between UFC and boxing. And Delbert mentioned the purser for Rolly Romero, almost $1 million for being a co-main event. Like, most UFC fighters don't even get close to $1 million. So, hey, Rolly, like he mentioned, knew how to promote himself. So, let me read the comments. Sorry, I better do better with this. Delbert Salgado, go ahead.
Buenas tardes, compas. Just tuning in. Self-promoting Rolly talked his way into $850K, but he forgot to fight. He's done. I'm out. Yeah. Oh, so Delbert already left? Delbert, come back.
Maybe he'll watch the replay. But hey, Rolly Romero is a good promoter, but it's starting to get to the point where he's not ready for the championship level. He got knocked out by Tank Davis, and then he got knocked out by Pitbull Cruz. And Pitbull Cruz definitely for sure proved to me he's a real deal. He's the one guy who's been able to push Tank Davis, not Ryan Garcia, not Rolly Romero. Like, how those guys are fighting between who got beat up, or I guess and Devin Haney. Devin Haney's more on that level, but I would love to see Devin Haney versus Tank Davis. But Rolly Romero proved that he's a real deal. We saw him at Staples Center, I think, Fernando, a couple years ago. And
yeah. They were louder for him than they were for Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, and he destroyed somebody that night, but it was like a nobody, and it was okay. This guy's a real deal. Nice fighting Rolly Romero, and he crushed him the same way Tank Davis did. He was in shape. When you're a pressure fighter, obviously when you're Mexican and you gotta stay away from the food, but he has cardios for days. And the hooks, man, they come from you from left, right. He just doesn't let anybody get into a rhythm or a zone. So ask Tank Davis about it, Fernando. But you talked about the crowd that he got in LA. That crowd in Las Vegas was all Pitbull Cruz. Who let the dogs out? Woof, woof, woof. There you go. So we got to get him on the show. And shout out to him.
Eduardo Ramirez is who he knocked out. He knocked him out in the second round.
Yeah, that was a nobody, but I'm like, I was impressed with the knockout, but I was like, not really a good fight.
I forgot that night he won the vacated WBC silver lightweight title.
Yeah, but it's not really a real title, though. But I'm not even sure this one.
I can't keep up with it. All these.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like they have like there's like 4 belts that matter, but then they give you an interim belt, then they give you kind of like some.
Well, I
other
mean,
crap.
if we're being honest, like Canelo made up his own weight division and his own stuff
Yeah,
there
and that
too.
honestly, I thought when you're talking about weight division, I thought Pitbull might struggle at a higher weight class. He went from 135 to 140. He's not a big dude, but hey, he looked like he was in top shape for that. So maybe
So,
when you're adding a little more Mexican food, you need to go up in weight, and it worked out just fine for him.
so what do you think is next for him?
I want to see the Tank Davis rematch. Like it has to happen. Like I think Pitbull has proven that hey, what happened a couple of years ago, I think also at Staples Center was no fluke. Let's do it again. Like, he could make there's money too. Like before you go fight the Devin Haney's of the world or maybe Shakur Stevenson, go fight Pitbull Cruz. You know what you're getting yourself into. If you don't fight him, it's kind of like you knew you were close to the edge there. You might have lost your first fight. Maybe it's not worth it. But I think Pitbull Cruz is getting to a point. He's making money. He has a Mexican fan base. He could definitely get a nice paycheck to fight Tank Davis and Pitbull fighting again.
It was at Staples Center. You got his second fight.
Where's the other one?
Crypto Arena.
Oh, that's the same whatever, same stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested because I mean Pitbull Cruz, we all know how he is, how skillful he is. He's aggressive. He's a Mexican fighter, so I think it's going to be interesting to see moving forward what he does. Because I think like you said, Gervonta Davis is like the one to go to. Like that's
they're on the same side of the street for boxing promotion.
I mean, Gervonta is going to fight this next guy. He'll probably destroy him, and then it'll be like, okay, who's next? Like
supposedly that guy's good. He's decent, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, because then what? The winner of Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, like, does he really want to go that route? Because I don't know if Devin Haney is going to fight Gervonta Davis, to be honest. Like, I think it might be Pitbull Cruz, the one that has to. Well, I still think it's funny that him and Ryan were arguing about who Tank knocked out in what way. And I was just like, geez.
I won't bring this up just yet, but let me lay out the scenario for Devin Haney or even Tank Davis. Tank Davis, let's go with that one. Like, fight who you're going to fight. I think it's Frank Martin, and maybe in the summertime, you get by him, you go to a rematch with Pitbull Cruz, and then you fight the winner, most likely Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. And that's 3 fights right there where you make a lot of money. So the best thing you could do when you're a Mayweather or Canelo, you have fights that are brewing, and you make the money. Obviously, it might not be the hardest fights, but that's actually a pretty tough gauntlet if he does it. But it's all about making the money.
What did you think of Sebastian Fundora beating Tim Tszyu for the championships?
So that's a good segue here because I'm starting to worry if you're part of the curse now, Fernando, the Compas on the beat curse, because we interviewed Tim Tszyu at the Super Bowl and we interviewed Rolly Romero. And
we interviewed Sebastian Fundora before.
That's what I'm saying. So do we count after he lost the first time? I think we took the L on that one because we interviewed him, right? But then he won this one. So is it like, hey, you got to take a loss after you interview with the Compas, but then eventually you'll become a champion. You'll get promoted pretty heavily. I don't know. But
so is Ryan Garcia gonna? That's gonna be interesting.
Ryan Garcia already had his loss. Did we interview him before that? Yeah, we interviewed him before the Tank Davis. No, that might have been.
No, we interviewed him. No, we interviewed him before he fought. He fought in LA, I think.
Yeah,
and we interviewed him.
I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, we interviewed him right before one of his LA fights. Then he went to Tank Davis after that.
Okay, I can't remember, but we're not on a good streak right now. But hey, Sebastian Fundora,
save us, Ryan. Like you're trying to save all these people on Twitter and all the pedophiles and all this other stuff. Why don't you save us? Like save our record.
The people who need to repent.
Yeah,
Ryan Garcia is trying to save those people, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
but Sebastian Fundora, man, I give him credit when you got knocked out that badly, and you got to reinvent yourself, and you got to go back to the drawing board. What can you do to improve? I was really impressed, man, because he has a nice chin. Because if you're a boxing fan, maybe you're not like the hardcore where you know the names. You want to see guys going at it. Rolly Romero, Pitbull Cruz, and Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu, especially the main event, they deliver. Like you watch these guys, just the highlights. They're like having all these cuts here on the forehead, on the nose, and the ears. And Tim Tszyu kept throwing the kitchen sink at Fundora. He would not stop punching it. He kept coming forward. When a guy is 6'7", 6'8", and he's throwing you a jab with the right hand. It was just 1-2 combinations, just like this with the length. And he was taking on the shots from Tim Tszyu. And after a while, I was like, man, this guy is cutting the ring. Nice jab, good power on the right. He doesn't have a hook yet. Once he gets a hook, I think he'll be fine. Hey, but shout out to Sebastian Fundora. And I think we asked him when he came on the show about possibly being a champion with his sister. He didn't get it done, but now he did. And that's pretty cool history. The first pair of brother and sister to become world champions in boxing.
If we interviewed him in person, do you think your arm would get tired of holding the microphone?
Yeah,
What would get more tired, your neck or your arm?
I don't know, but this is one of those interviews where you give them a wireless microphone, so you don't have to hold it or anything.
Yeah. So, like I said, I didn't really watch the fight. Dan was the one watching it, and he told me that there was an accidental elbow that hit Tim Tszyu, and that's basically what opened him up. But I mean, Sebastian just took advantage of it after that.
Yeah, but I want to give also credit to Sebastian. He was getting him a combination, so he contributed to that cut there, and then also Sebastian had a lot of blood too. So I'm sure Tim Tszyu was very shocked about it, and you could tell that he won. Like the other controversy too, Fernando. I think Victor told me is on the weekend that Rolly Romero was up on a scorecard. I don't know why he was getting his ass whooped, but the Tim Tszyu and the Sebastian Fundora fight, that was a split decision, so it was a close fight overall, and it seemed like
Tim Tszyu was up at one point.
Yeah, so I think it was just the pressure that Sebastian kept coming at him, and he won that fight. So he had to dig deep for that one. He had to go into deep waters with a guy who had a lot of hype, and to go on the Tim Tszyu, Fernando, we interviewed him at the Super Bowl, and I'm like, he has a lot of hype. I haven't seen him too much. He's coming from Australia. He wanted to fight Jermell Charlo. He wanted to fight Terrence Crawford.
I asked him about a couple things, and
Canelo too.
What's his name got on my ass about it? Are you hungry? Yeah, you see a big guy and you think I'm hungry.
Check out the interview.
About treats from Australia. I thought that was pretty cool that I was cultured enough to know about some of the treats from Australia.
Yeah, then you asked him about his dad. So it was again, go watch the interview. But I want to see Tim Tszyu back. Hopefully he doesn't get discouraged about this. But I like boxing when people are just are not afraid to take a loss here and there and then just come back and do it. And Sebastian Fundora is one of those guys. But I enjoyed
Mayweather screwed a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, and
Mayweather made everybody think you have to go undefeated. No, you don't. Look at Julio Cesar Chavez. He took what, 7 or 8?
Yeah, and I know he went on a lengthy streak. Or even the guy we just showed, Bernard Hopkins, lost early in his career to Roy Jones Jr. and he came back and had a nice career. So it happens. But if you're not like a Tank Davis or a Canelo, where you're picking your fighter to maximize the purse, don't be afraid. Make some money, build the brand, and then come back like Fundora did.
Fundora's next opportunity, I saw that one of his people came out and said that it's a rematch with Tim Tszyu. Yeah. Then he has to fight Terrence Crawford, right? Like that's like
so what I saw, I think he has to fight a mandatory fighter. I don't know who that is. That could be Terrence Crawford.
I thought it was Terrence Crawford, but they said no, we want to fight Tim. Like his promoter came out and said, I think it's going to be Tim Tszyu's rematch.
Supposedly Errol Spence Jr. I don't think he's a mandatory, but he said he wanted to fight the winner of Tim Tszyu against.
I thought that was funny.
Fundora, so it could be Errol Spence Jr., the mandatory, which maybe it could be Terrence Crawford. I don't know. And then maybe the rematch with Tim Tszyu. But I saw Dan Rayfield tweeted that he got a statement from his promoter saying, hey, it was a last-minute decision to fight Tim Tszyu. Remember, because Keith Thurman pulled out. Yeah. By the way, I did tell you, I got one thing where I did tell you this fight's going to be tougher than Keith Thurman because Keith Thurman is older. Yep. He's been away from the game. Sebastian is young and he's awkward.
One time since 2019.
Yeah, so that one time Keith Thurman, me too. One time I was right. I said it's gonna be a tougher fight, so I'm gonna take my L. W because I take a lot of L's. But the statement that the promoter said, "Hey, it was a last minute fight. We did verbally discuss and agree that we're gonna give Tim Tszyu a rematch in the case that Fundora wins the fight. But it was not a written contract. That's how late it was in the game. But the promoter said, "Hey, I'm a man of my word. If Tim Tszyu wants to get the rematch, he's up first." So I do like that. I appreciate that for him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm just a little. I kind of want to see what's next for him because I mean the Tim Tszyu, like I wonder if he's gonna take some time off and kind of step away, and then that kind of leaves.
When you take a loss like that, you want to come back and get revenge.
Yeah. What's up, Jorge? You got to stay tuned in a little bit, Jorge.
A little late, but I think he knows why. He probably got the rundown sheet at home, and he saw that Dan Diego comes on later. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Delbert said, "I'm back. I'm back from boxing without. The Saturday card was very good. Tszyu Fundora must be run back. Both class guys. So right. I was gonna ask you about that. What did you think about them after, like, kind of like hugging and standing there with the."
I'm cool with it. That was a slugfest, man. Sometimes you're like rebels, but then you go into a war. You're like, okay, I respect the crap out of you. And what can you do, man? You gotta appreciate your opponent sometimes.
Dan will be here in about 25 minutes, probably. So give us about 25. First, it's Vic.
If we talk too slowly, then he'll take a while. But the faster we go, he'll come on sooner.
Exactly.
And Fernando, and I'll say this about what you're saying about being a good sportsmanship. if it's like
I never said that.
I don't know, if it's like baseball or like it's okay. You could be rivals, but when you beat the crap out of each other, it's okay to have some respect, you know.
Well, I think what people hate is when like people like are talking crap going into a fight, and then after they're like hugging and kissing after the fight. Like Victor Ortiz and Floyd Mayweather, they like were talking a lot of crap before that. Then he's over there hugging him and grabbing at him and trying to like. And I think that's
fine. There are exceptions. If you talk a lot of crap and then you get your ass whooped, then yeah, we don't need to shake hands. But I don't think these guys are talking.
There you go. See, we can agree on that, because like
I
think there are times where you're kind of like, like I don't know about all that, and then obviously you see.
Or remember when Lamar Jackson was praising the crap out of Patrick Mahomes? I did not like that at all before.
I thought that was really weird, especially because there's, I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, like you need to kind of chill out. If not, like people are not going to be drawn, and that's why like it was authentic when Conor McGregor used to do it, because like you remember like Conor would do it and he wouldn't like he would say what's up, this, that, but it wasn't as much as what some of these guys do. And then you get situations where people don't want to buy the next fight because they know, oh, these guys are friends or this or that. Like they're just gonna like each other after. No, people want the violence, people want the aggressiveness between them. So yeah, I guess I kind of get it, but at the same time, like you also have to be careful, because if not, people are just not gonna buy it and they're gonna be like, oh, this fool's just gonna talk all this crap. And then he's gonna be like, oh, hey, like I love you, let's be friends, stuff like that. So it's just kind of a fine line, if you know what I mean.